Part 12. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Chingjomi Se. Chapter 112. If it is someone who is very close to you and has been with her for a long time, when she asks you, can I trust you? In fact, it is doubt. If the relationship is not that close and the relationship is short-lived, when she asks you if I can trust you, she actually does. Chen Shen felt that Xiaoqing Ai had a little girl side, but she was not a little girl at heart. Relax, it's not a big problem. Look at me, I've been scolded from this moment on. What will happen when it's broadcast? Chen Shen said with a smile. Xiaoqing Ai's question was actually expressing her current pressure. Keep talking. Xiaoqing Ai brought a pillow over and motioned for Chen Shen to continue comforting her. Chen Shen folded his legs and sat cross-legged on the sofa. He felt that Xiaoqing Ai at this moment did not want to hear comfort or facts and truth. It's an attitude. Chen Shen touched Xiaoqing Ai with his arm and said with a smile, how about I return the favor to you? Xiaoqing Ai frowned, give me something back. What else? Fan welfare. Xiaoqing tilted her head and thought for a moment before she realized what was happening. With a snap, she punched Chen Shen. Chen Shen shrank his neck and laughed. If Chen Shen dared to take the initiative to kiss Xiaoqing Ai, from the audience's perspective, it would be even more heartbreaking than making Xiaoqing Ai cry. How dare you? Risk your life, Xiaoqing cursed a little, but there was more expression on his face and his mood gradually improved. What would happen if Director Zhao edited all of this? Xiaoqing asked Chen Shen. Then you can't get away with it, so please believe in your own charm. Even if you have just one kiss, let alone 2 kisses, there will be many people who will go through fire and water for you. Xiaoqing rolled her eyes, then sighed slightly, and then gently leaned on Chen Shen's shoulder. Chen Shen said softly, I'm not taking advantage of this situation. Xiaoqing Ai also reached out and pulled Chen Shen's hand on the computer to his side, so that it would be more comfortable to lean against it. I'm tired and want to take a rest. The fluctuations on the internet are not bad for Xiaoqing Ai. In the past few years, she has been praised and scolded a lot. However, Shen Hailan started to take care of this matter, which was a real pressure for Xiaoqing Ai. If she knew that she kissed Chen Shen twice, she would probably be furious. Xiaoqing Ai is not stupid. She knows that Zhao Chunshen needs capital to intervene in this program. The key to leveraging capital is herself, or Yuan Media. With the participation of these people, the cake will be bigger. For example, now, Zhao Chunshen is probably already in contact with top-level businesses. Some businesses are connected with capital. If Yuan treats him according to the standards, the business will come to him on his own. Zhao Chunshen does not need to take the initiative to negotiate. One of the necessary conditions for this cake to be launched is that Zhao Chunshen must ensure that Xiaoqing Ai is the beneficiary. Therefore, even if you are a little outrageous, it will be a black light for the company. This kind of prepared rest, even if there is physical contact with Chen Shen, my heart is rational, there is no big fluctuation, I just think it will be more comfortable. Just as Xiaoqing Ai was about to speak, Chen Shen said first, I have to say, I put my career first. Xiaoqing gritted his teeth, wishing Chen Shen had no mouth. Is this considered a tacit understanding? Chen Shen asked again. Xiaoqing rolled his eyes, if you can still say these things, just play it by yourself. Don't come to me if you get scolded for being depressed. Chen Shen smiled and said, actually, I'm quite lucky. Lucky? You call this complicated situation lucky? The luck I'm talking about is meeting Xiaoqing Ai at this time. Xiaoqing raised her head and glanced at Chen Shen. This was the first time she heard such ambiguous words from Chen Shen's mouth. In this case, Xiaoqing Ai remembered 3 sentences. The first sentence was that before the date, Chen Shen said that he changed his decision to date him because he recognized the Xia King Ai that he admired. The second sentence is the sentence I said the night before yesterday. I will let you be well. These two sentences have a premise, one is appreciation, and the other is the so-called fans versus idols. Only the sentence, the previous foreshadowing was a joke to block my mouth, but looking back, it seems that I really didn't allow myself to say that prerequisite. What does he mean? Chen Shen smiled, isn't it lucky for you to meet me at this time? Xia King I felt that she couldn't take what Chen Shen said. She did have a good impression of Chen Shen, but the conditions didn't seem to allow it, so she could only focus on psychological construction for work. Just like what Chen Shen said just now, career is for heavy. Given this premise, it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to rest against him, right? Think about what you want to say later, Xia King I reminded. Chen Shen glanced sideways at Xia King I, her eyes were bright and her teeth were bright. She had a lot of hair, black and shiny, and her eyes were very spiritual and bright. Her face is a bit small, her skin color is not cold fair, but tender and white, slightly pink, her lips are not dark in color, there is no trace of lipstick, they are very natural. Xia Qing was taken aback by the words natural beauty, just looking at her, it seemed that she could feel the fragrance on her body. Chen Shen sighed and stretched out his other hand to rub Xia King Ai's head. Xia Qing curled her lips, thinking she really dared to kiss him. The lower the period, the more I want to risk my life. Anyway, this is already the case, what else can I do? It's like standing on the edge of a cliff, and from time to time there will be a voice in my heart, what if I jump? Chen Shen felt it and felt Xia King Ai's eagerness to try. It is tempting to go up, and it is equally tempting to go down. This should be the darker side of human nature. In other words, fall. The pressure of Yuan has accumulated a lot of rebellious factors for Xia King Ai. Chen Shen originally wanted to express that he also had a good impression of Xia King Ai. Just now, he joked about whether he wanted to return a kiss to her. It was really not a joke, but a test. I dare to kiss you under the camera. Do you think you should believe me? But Xia King Ai's current state seems not so clear. The pressure is too great, and the development direction will be wrong. Chen Shen held back. Team building the day after tomorrow, can you let someone in charge come over to take a look? Chen Shen said helplessly. Xia King Ai was stunned for a moment, then pouted, and the atmosphere was broken. What person in charge? Shen Halen, your boss, let her come. I have something to say to her. What are you going to say? I want to tell her, if you dare to bring Xia King Ai to the love show, I will dare to be a yellow-haired monster and let you ride my ghost fire motorcycle. Xia King Ai laughed, she seemed not to understand, but seemed to understand. After laughing, Xia King Ai raised her head to look at Chen Shen again. This time, her eyes were much softer. It's okay, even if I will be scolded as a scumbag later, I am not a scumbag. Although it always ends with a joke, it is always fun. Xia King Ai sighed, no wonder so many people like to fall in love. If you promise to come to my company, I'll call you. Chen Shen pouted, I won't go. If I treat you like this, what should I do? To make trouble in heaven. Xia Qing started to cry, don't make such a joke. I used to make trouble with you, but now you are also messing around, right? I have the flu, and I feel a little dizzy. I will update first and then change it. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Mi Se. Chapter 113. Xia King Ai and Chen Shen expressed many of their innermost thoughts in a joking tone. Chen Shen's mentality is changing, and he really doesn't have the confidence to be a gentleman like he did at the beginning. You come and go, it seems that no one is better than me, and we are all sinking into the swamp. Chen Shen rubbed his head and severely condemned himself, how could this be done? Xia King Ai went out at 11:30. She lay on the sofa and squinted for a while. At noon, Chen Shen cooked himself a bowl of noodles, then took the noodles to the backyard terrace. Before he started eating, Zhao Chunsheng came from the side, holding several takeout boxes in his hand. "It's better if we don't have a chef at home," Zhao Chunsheng said with a smile before anyone arrived. He brought 3 dishes and a bottle of wine, still Maotai. "Director Zhao, are you coming to Maotai Bureau now?" Zhao Chunsheng glanced at the villa behind Chen Shen, then leaned over and whispered, "Brother, I can call you brother. Just take it easy. If Xia King Ai is really kidnapped and ran away, my show will be over." The dishes were placed on the wooden table, and Chen Shen began to pour the wine. He couldn't really let the director serve him. Xia King Ai signed a unilateral contract. Zhao Chunsheng curled his lips and said, "What else? You guys, except for Su Yuan, the other 3 female guests have a contract. If they are not satisfied with the finished film, they can unilaterally breach the contract, which means they can keep their content from being broadcast." Chen Shen glared, "What the do you prefer girls over boys?" Zhao Chunsheng raised his glass and touched it with Chen Shen. In the current situation, the closer Xia King Ai and Chen Shen get, the more scared Zhao Chunsheng becomes. If Yuan feels that this show is not good for Xia King Ai and they withdraw, it will be over. I won't beat around the bush with you. This drink has 2 purposes. First, to treat Xia King Ai. No, except for Su Yuan, you should take your time with the others. Secondly, I will show you the way to Huan Yu. I'm starting to get interested in our program, so you can try to get in touch." After Zhao Chunsheng finished speaking, he raised his head and drank his first glass of wine. "You should understand what I mean, right?" Chen Shen had a drink with him. "Thank you, director, for your concern." Zhao Chunsheng started to pick up the food. "I know you are sensible and your family is in good condition, but the entertainment industry and the catering industry are 2 different circles. Since I have said these things openly to you, let's get to the bottom of it. Yuan Media is only weaker than a few big platforms in the current entertainment industry. If they find me and make demands on me, I won't even be stubborn. Do you understand?" Chen Shen nodded, "I understand." "You understand? Do you understand that you can still eat peanuts so leisurely? Didn't you explain yourself clearly?" Zhao Chunsheng added, "Whether Xia King Ai wins or loses, she must be the one protected. Do you understand?" Chen Shen still nodded, "I understand." Zhao Chunsheng frowned, "Then do you want me to lead you? Meet Huan Yu." Zhao Chunsheng took Xia King Ai very seriously, but after getting in touch with him, Chen Shen was also a big treasure. This show has exceeded Zhao Chunsheng's expectations so far. Even if Xia King Ai quits or Yuan asks to cut all her scenes, as long as Chen Shen is here, Zhao Chunsheng feels that this show is not dead yet. Regardless of the actual benefits or the gridded appreciation, Zhao Chunsheng still hopes that Chen Shen himself will have a good ending. Huan Yu and Yuan were natural rivals. Zhao Chunsheng could not refuse Yuan's request, but Huan Yu's participation was a kind of protection for Chen Shen. However, Chen Shen seemed a little indifferent. "Director Zhao, you should know me fairly well, right?" Chen Shen looked at Zhao Chunsheng. "I don't know about other aspects, but I do know a little bit about dealing with women." "Just women?" Zhao Chunsheng sighed, "What do you want to say?" "Look, if you don't say that you favor girls over boys, and you still pick on weaklings, the other people are not important? Have I stabilized them?" Zhao Chunsheng pondered for a moment. "I know, but protecting Xia King Ai's creation must be a prerequisite. At most, I will favor you and a few other people's content." Chen Shen poured wine for Zhao Chunsheng. "Brother, yeah, am I the one who comforted you when we were frustrated on 2 dates? Xiaobai, the flowers of the motherland, have you become less persistent now? Who am I for?" Aren't you afraid that they will be held accountable later? I was in a bad mood after recording it. When I watched the show, I found out that there was something about being an actor. If someone sues you, what can you do? Zhao Chunsheng was stunned. Can it be understood this way? No, I will confess this to them when it's over. Then what if people can't accept it? Zhao Chunsheng choked, but he felt that it was not enough. Okay, just think that my good intentions are treated like a donkey's liver and lungs. Zhao Chunsheng smiled bitterly. I know, we all remember your kindness to the program team, and we will study your content carefully, okay. Chen Shen chuckled and waved his hand. Am I that kind of person? There's no need to study me. Zhao Chunsheng stared. What do you mean? Chen Shen raised the cup, and after meeting Zhao Chunsheng, he said, my intention is actually the same as yours. I am creating with the prerequisite of protecting Xiaoqing II, so please leave me alone. Zhao Chunsheng brought the wine to his mouth and put it down again. Why can't I understand? You and Xiaoqing II are rivals. If you protect Xiaoqing II, the content will definitely hurt you. I know that the same is true for several other female guests. You don't have to worry about me when editing. Zhao Chunsheng was a little confused. Chen Shen, I want to emphasize to you that this kind of thing cannot be joked. This is not the time to be generous. If it really causes widespread disgust among the audience, you will have a hard time in the entertainment industry in the future. Chen Shen nodded. It's okay, it's not a big problem. Zhao Chunsheng looked at Chen Shen and didn't react for a long time. When I came here, I was still nervous. As the most prominent male protagonist in the content, I might suppress him in terms of content if I came to confess to him. Not only did he not make a fuss, but he also considered the program team everywhere. In the end, he simply ignored himself. This, oh. Zhao Chunsheng sighed. When Xiaoqing leaned on Chen Shen just now, Zhao Chunsheng saw it, and his back teeth were about to break, and he cursed several times. What about now? I really deserve to die. Because of love. Chen Shen smiled. You have to make some sacrifices. This program is destined to not have all the members be great and glorious. Zhao Chunsheng began to pour himself a glass of wine. Xiao Chen, I toast you 3 cups. There is nothing wrong with you. I, Zhao Chunsheng, recognize you. In the future, as long as it is my project and it suits you, you are always welcome. Chen Shen wanted to stop him, but Zhao Chunsheng refused and drank 3 cups by himself. In this circle, I rarely admire someone. I didn't expect to meet one in a variety show. Zhao Chunsheng sighed. He felt that it was unexpected, but reasonable, but there was nothing wrong with Chen Shen. Several female guests were nice to him. Some people in the program team had a lot of opinions about Chen Shen. Now it seems that the program team underestimated Chen Shen. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show. Why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 114. Friday 6:30, Su Yuan's alarm rang. He raised his neck to take a look, then turned it off. 5 minutes later, the alarm rang again, and Su Yuan sat up. Then he got out of bed to wash up, and after washing up, he came out and searched in the closet for a long time. Going to bed, Xiaoqing II also woke up, and watched Su Yuan trying clothes in front of the mirror with open eyes. Last night, Chen Shen said that he would not go to work today, so Su Yuan returned to the bedroom and started to make phone calls to ask for leave. First, she told their leader, and then asked a colleague to do the work at hand, and then she asked for leave. Su Yuan seemed to be trapped. No wonder Chen Shen asked him to tolerate her. Xiaoqing II sighed slightly. Chen Shen went to the entertainment industry, and it was estimated that he would be a disaster. I don't know how Su Yuan will end up. This one is okay, it's pretty cute. Xiaoqing Ai's voice sounded a little low, probably because she just woke up, very attractive. Su Yuan turned around, really? Well, I rarely see you wearing such loose clothes, it will look softer. Su Yuan looked in the mirror, then this one, I'll go downstairs. Xiaoqing Ai, okay. Su Yuan went downstairs and went into the kitchen without seeing Chen Shen. At this moment, Chen Shen had just finished running and was taking a shower. After taking a shower, he did not go downstairs immediately, but ran to Su Mian's bedroom and knocked on the door. It was Su Mo who opened the door. She had changed into work clothes and was about to go out. Didn't you say you were going to rest today? Su Mo asked in confusion. Chen Shen nodded, yes, I'll find Mian, or you can tell Mian for me that I want to use the guitar. Su Mo went in again, and soon helped Chen Shen take out the guitar. Don't be too anxious these days, Sister Mo, don't be too tired. Chen Shen took the guitar. Su Mo smiled and said, you should take care of yourself. After putting the guitar in the bedroom, Chen Shen went downstairs. He would use it the next day or the day after tomorrow, so he wanted to get familiar with it in advance. As soon as he entered the kitchen, he saw Su Yuan carefully carrying a bowl of noodles towards the dining table. He also laid out a plate with steaming hot noodles and fried eggs with vegetables. Good morning. Su Yuan turned around and smiled, I was just thinking about calling you. 2 bowls of noodles, one large and one small. Chen Shen ate the large bowl and Su Yuan ate the small bowl. When they sat together, Su Yuan suddenly leaned towards Chen Shen and sniffed, did you take a shower? There is a smell of shower gel. Chen Shen put the fried egg into Su Yuan's bowl, it's okay today, I got up early. Su Yuan was a little proud, I got up the second of 5 alarm clocks, and I took a day off with my colleague. Chen Shen stared, taking a day off. Well, just think you are lucky, you won't be too bored to stay alone. Chen Shen was stunned at first, then smiled, that's great, I was almost bored to death yesterday. Su Yuan, it's okay, I'll take you out to play today. In the morning, the main team went out, and only Chen Shen and Su Yuan were left in the villa. The two agreed to go out to buy groceries at 9 o'clock. When they went out, Su Yuan pulled Chen Shen and ran. After running out of the yard, he looked back. There were few cameramen on weekdays, and they couldn't react if there were 1 or 2. Besides, Su Yuan didn't even bring a radio, and she was really annoyed by those cameramen. The two did not go to the nearest supermarket. Su Yuan pulled Chen Shen across the road, there is a farmer's market over there. Let's go there. Chen Shen nodded. After crossing the road, there was still more than a kilometer to go. Chen Shen wanted to call a taxi, but Su Yuan did not let him. On the sidewalk in autumn, the sycamore trees began to shed their leaves. There were many sycamore leaves on the ground. Some of them floated onto the road. When the traffic rushed by, they would be carried far away. Su Yuan and Chen Shen held hands tightly. After the light bulb was gone, Su Yuan kept smiling. Loose jeans and loose sweatshirts, Su Yuan, a white-collar worker in the workplace, was actually full of youthful breath. Chen Shen looked left and right, and whispered, I should have brought a camera earlier. It's okay, just take pictures later. Su Yuan had imagined a lot about her boyfriend. She felt that she must not find an ordinary person. Either someone who is good to her and has good conditions, or someone who will be happy when seeing his face, and can't even quarrel. Su Yuan felt that Chen Shen belonged to the latter. He had imagined and felt excited after getting along with each other. This autumn seemed to be more meaningful than the previous autumns. Chen Shen. Yeah. You should like me, right? If it was a few days ago, Chen Shen felt that he would definitely avoid being alone with Su Yuan. It can only be said that the world is wide when the mind changes. Xiaobai is changing, and it is normal for him to change. Before Chen Shen answered, Su Yuan said again, if you admit it, don't let go. If you don't admit it, let go. In this way, we will not be considered illegal. The temperature in the palm of his hand has begun to adapt, but Chen Shen did not let go. Su Yuan's hand strength has also increased a little. Su'er, do you remember the last time you asked me why Sister Mo looked for me? I remember, didn't Brother Ye tell me that? Chen Shen shook his head and said, there is more than this reason. There are some complicated reasons behind it. I don't know how to tell you. If you want to know, you can ask Brother Ye. Su Yuan was a little confused. Why did he bring this up now? Anyway, it's certain that I owe Sister Mo a favor, and I want to pay her back. Su Yuan thought for a moment and asked, do you need me to do anything? Chen Shen smiled and said, what else can I ask you to do? I'm just afraid that you'll get angry if you think too much. Su Yuan raised his arm and held Chen Shen's hand, is this true? Really? That's fine. I'm not someone who only knows about love. After walking a few steps forward, Su Yuan turned his head and looked at Chen Shen, you're not going to tell me that you and Sister Mo know each other privately? A rich young man who ran away. Chen Shen rolled his eyes. Su Yuan laughed. The word like is not that complicated. Chen Shen has liked many people and he doesn't go against his heart. As for Su Yuan, Chen Shen gradually began to tell her the truth. As for what to choose in the end, it depends on Su Yuan herself. Chen Shen looked up at the sky. Autumn is a bit sad. People are like this. Playing for real will have side effects. Su Yuan also looked up at the sky. The blue sky and white clouds were the same as her mood. It was a good day. Walking to buy food, and walking back, still full of energy. Su Yuan is a newbie in the kitchen. If Chen Shen says he can't cook, then he can't cook. The two bought a bunch of cooked food, such as glutinous rice ribs, steamed pork with rice flour, and fermented glutinous rice, which is also called rice wine in some places. In fact, when Chen Shen and his friends went out, Zhao Chunsheng saw them next door. A cameraman wanted to follow, but he stopped him. Seeing Chen Shen and Su Yuan coming back hand in hand, several staff members gritted their teeth and said, damn it. Isn't he afraid of retribution? He was so close to Xiaoqing Ai yesterday. Hearing the complaints of the staff behind him, Zhao Chunsheng frowned and turned back and said, you know nothing, it's not easy for Xiao Chen either. Several staff members were stunned, looking at each other, that's not right, didn't you scold yourself a few days ago? I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Mi Se. Chapter 115. After lunch, Chen Shen and Su Yuan played on the glass plank road. Chen Shen took a camera to take pictures of Su Yuan. Su Yuan always smiled. From the camera, when she smiled, she just showed some of her white teeth. It was very beautiful and contagious. Chen Shen smiled and said, this is so beautiful. Can you think about something sad? Su Yuan ran over and said, oh, just take pictures. You don't have to post only those unhappy pictures. I'm not that kind of person. Chen Shen leaned on the railing and began to tell Su Yuan the truth, this is called operation. I'm a professional. Besides, when you gave me your account, you only had more than 3,000 fans on Xiaohongshu. Now it's almost doubled. Okay, you're awesome. Su Yuan took a few steps back and looked into the distance. Before his expression became deep, he laughed again, I'm not an actor. How can I be sad just because I'm sad? Just take pictures. Chen Shen had no choice but to chat with Su Yuan about this and that, and then find a chance to take pictures. A few minutes later, Su Yuan looked at Chen Shen, I have a solution. You have to set a scene for me. What scene? Su Yuan walked up to Chen Shen and said seriously, you said you don't like me. Chen Shen stared, you're making such a big deal. Su Yuan laughed, then I won't shoot. Chen Shen thought for a while, then looked at Su Yuan, I don't like you anymore. Su Yuan was stunned for a moment, and deliberately exaggerated. Many scenes of getting along with Chen Shen during this period kept pouring into her mind. Then the sentence I don't like you anymore became clearer and clearer. Su Yuan looked at Chen Shen, biting her lips. She seemed to have found a feeling of sadness. She blinked and tears fell. Chen Shen put down the camera. What the hell was he shooting? This sentence is fake. Su Yuan stretched out her hand to wipe her tears, why don't you shoot again? I finally cried. Chen Shen began to rub his temples. Su Yuan came over and said softly, I know it's fake. Didn't you ask me to find the feeling? I don't blame you. And think about it, this is also a response, my response to you. Chen Shen understood. Su Yuan asked him if he liked her in the morning, and he responded. Now she also responded to him. Su Yuan wanted to tell Chen Shen that it was okay to like her because she was also treating Chen Shen very seriously. The key is that it hurts to understand, and I feel like I really deserve to die. Why are you still frowning? It's okay, it's fake. Su Yuan was still crying, but she comforted Chen Shen instead. Chen Shen reached out and wiped the tears from Su Yuan's cheeks, it's really beautiful. Su Yuan took 2 steps back, his cheeks flushed. The 3 words really beautiful interrupted Su Yuan's spell. Damn, this is a bit hard to bear. The photos couldn't be taken anymore, so the two went back to the house. Su Yuan cut 2 pieces of cheesecake, then made 2 cups of coffee and brought them to the terrace. Chen Shen came with his guitar. The two sat on the terrace, one on each side, basking in the sun. Chen Shen began to familiarize himself with the chords, playing and humming. Su Yuan just leaned sideways on the chair, not disturbing Chen Shen. She could see that Chen Shen was practicing. When Chen Shen was particularly serious, Su Yuan took out her phone and took a few photos. Looking through the album, it was really beautiful. The phone vibrated, and a message from the program team popped up on WeChat, asking everyone to pack up the things they needed today, and to go up the mountain tomorrow for a 2-day and 1-night collective team building. This was also the last activity of the program team. Su Yuan got excited, stood up and said, "You stay alone for a while, I'll go pack up now." Chen Shen looked over, and Su Yuan showed Chen Shen the information on her phone. Go. Chen Shen continued to practice the piano. A few minutes later, Chen Shen's phone rang several times, and Chen Shen took the phone over. Zhao Chunzhen's message. Xiao Chen, I have something to tell you first. Tomorrow's situation is a bit special. Shen Halen from Yuan Media will come to our team building, and Huanyu may also have an ace agent. After all, it involves Xiaoqing II's development and the selection of guests in the observation room. You have to be careful. Of course, they won't show up openly, but you have to be aware of it. I'm not worried about you turning over, I'm worried about you playing too big, so be restrained. Chen Shen replied with a good word. Shen Halen is really coming. No wonder Xiaoqing II is under so much pressure. He understands that Zhao Chunzhen means that if Shen Halen is coming, then he can't do anything reckless. Even if he acts, he has to act as if Xiaoqing II has an advantage. According to the situation, if Xiaoqing II performs well, Shen Halen will most likely introduce big-name artists to Zhao Chunzhen to be guests in the observation room. The phone vibrated again, but this time it was a message from Su Yuan. I brought a lot of skincare and mosquito repellent. You don't have to bring any. In the evening, the big team went home. Before 6 o'clock, Zhou Gaikan drove back in his car, which was rare for him to be early. When he entered the house, he saw Chen Shen and Su Mian playing games, and he smiled politely, looking in a good mood. In the morning, Joe Gaikin talked with the boss of the company's artist management department for a long time. Talking about love lesson. Joe Gaikin handled the two hot searches in a general way, but the boss recognized him and said he did a good job. The first hot search was very popular, and the second hot search was also very popular. Mainly, there are two people involved, Seoking II and Jang Sukin, both of whom are considered high-traffic artists. The most bizarre thing is that from these two hot searches, a piece of information was sorted out, that is, there is a trainee who wants to step on Seoking II and Jang Sukin to get to the top. The key is that this matter is a bit subtle. Many people went to Jang Sukin to verify, but he didn't respond. The boss said that Haejin was also watching. If the popularity is really high, Jang Sukin may also come to be a guest in the observation room. The boss asked Joe Gaikin in detail, asking him how Seoking II performed in the program. Joe Gaikin told the truth and said that Seoking II and the other three female guests competed for men. Just this one, the boss almost jumped up, and called Zhao Chunsheng on the spot, saying that he wanted to inspect the program on the spot to determine who would be the guest in the observation room. Looking at the boss's expression, Joe Gaikin felt that he probably wanted to be a guest in the observation room. Whenever Yuan Media failed, Huanyu's office would be happy for a long time. This has become the corporate culture of the two companies. For Joe Gaikin, this is a bright future. He thought he was already a clown, and all these actions were to avoid becoming a clown in front of the audience. What was the result? His actions perfectly met the interests of the company. If the company is defeated, then Huanyu himself cannot be a clown. Huanyu and Yuwendu, even if someone has to be sacrificed, it will be the one without background. So, Joe Gaikin can smile in a friendly manner when looking at Chen Shen. There is a big plot coming soon, but I have been visiting relatives and have caught the flu, so I am not in good condition. I will write slowly first. If I am in good condition tomorrow, I will update more. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 116. Chen Shen was still washing when he heard Fang Ye's alarm clock. By the time Chen Shen finished washing, Fang Ye had just finished getting dressed. It's still early to leave at 8 o'clock, Chen Shen reminded. Fang also hummed, I'll just clean it up. 2 days and 1 night, not long, Chen Shen also started to pack up, and put the toiletries into specific boxes. Bring a spare set of clothes, it's cold in the mountains, add a sweater, and a backpack will do the trick. Fang also came out of the shower and looked at Chen Shen several times as if he remembered something. I saw there was a lot of noise on Weibo yesterday. Does it have anything to do with you? Fang Ye asked in a low voice. During this period of time, Fang was also in his own circle and had almost no social interaction. It was fine for 2 days a day, but his friends couldn't bear it for 10 or 8 days. Just go to him when he gets off work and ask him what he has been doing recently. Fang Ye was hesitant at first, but after thinking about it, although the relationship was not concluded, the program was very compelling. Su Mo, many people who worked in the bank knew her, and Seoking II, most people who like celebrities and entertainers also knew her. This person. There is also his roommate Chen Shen, the son of the owner of Chen Hotpot, one of the representative catering companies in Yuzhou. Fang also confessed, saying that he was recording a romance show. Of course, the details were not revealed as there was a confidentiality agreement. So much so that a few of their good brothers have been chatting about this in a group for the past 2 days. Fang Ye doesn't have Weibo on his phone, so a friend took a screenshot and showed it to him. The brothers have already begun to interrogate Fang Ye, asking him if the love story he went to is the love story of Seoking II. If so, the brothers will come to get him. We are both single, why can you and Seoking II be in a love drama together? Chen Shen smiled and said, How can I have this strength? Fang also shook his head. You do. Chen Shen was stunned for a moment, almost forgetting that he told Fang Ye about his family background. He shook his head and said, this kind of thing requires more than just money. Besides, if I buy hot searches, will they scold me? Sure enough, it has something to do with you. Chen Shen glared, brother Ye, you have changed. Of course I know those hot searches were not caused by you. With your performance on the show, do you still dare to buy hot searches? I thought about it, do you think it could be the case? Fang also leaned over and his voice became a little softer. His eyes kept looking towards the next door, which was Zhou Gaikan and Zhou Wenbei's bedroom. Chen Shen was really surprised. How did he do it and guess the correct answer at once? I've long disliked that person. I think it's a matter of character that he can do such a thing, Fang Ye added. No, 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 don't miss others so much, we just need to take care of ourselves. Fang also started to pack his things. Until now, the only thing he and Chen Shen thought was bad about Chen Shen was that he always pretended to be confused. Using the simplest logic, who suffers from the two hot searches? For the first hot search, Xiaoqing II is still being criticized by others. An artist who was terminated from Yuan also likes Xiaoqing II's comments about other people's yin and yang. Therefore, it is impossible for Xiaoqing II to buy the hot search. The second hot search was most likely directed at Chen Shen. Before it was aired, fans of Xiaoqing II and Zhang Sukan had already scolded him as Xiang, and Chen Shen naturally wouldn't do it either. Fang Ye was even thinking that if he was still close to Xiaoqing II, he would be the one being scolded now. Although Xiaoqing II is beautiful, she also has a lot of thorns. In total, Chen Shen may have blocked herself. The entertainment industry is indeed a complicated place. Fang also patted Chen Shen on the shoulder and sighed, if you are under great pressure, just tell me. Chen Shen lifted his backpack and felt the weight. Speaking of pressure, I'm quite a bit stressed. It doesn't matter if someone scolds me. I'm afraid that someone will follow me and be scolded, and I don't know some things. Fang was also stunned. Is this a clear statement? Then he said with a smile, your kid finally got it right. Don't worry, I'll find a chance to tell her. Chen Shen went downstairs and saw Su Mo and Su Mian, who were sitting on the sofa. Each of them had a small suitcase. Su Mian squinted her eyes and took a breath. Next to her was Chen Shen's big guitar. Let me help you put the boxes in the car first. Chen Shen walked over. Su Mo was not polite and gave Chen Shen the car keys. Seeing Chen Shen carrying the box, Su Mian rubbed her eyes, stood up, and then took the guitar in her hand. I'll go with you. The sky is beautiful, the sun has not yet appeared, but there are no clouds in the sky, and the deep blue has turned into a light white blue. Chen Shen opened the trunk. Once the two boxes were placed, there was no room for the guitar. Chen Shen looked at Su Mian and saw Su Mian looking at the sky in the distance in a daze. Chen Shen smiled, opened the back door, and then lowered the windows on both sides to let you have some air. Just wait for them outside. Su Mian came to her senses, hummed, got into the car, and sat in the back. As soon as she sat down, Su Mian started to breathe again. She looked at Chen Shen, her eyes watery after breathing. Chen Shen put the guitar in and sat down next to it. Su Mian slowly closed her eyes. Su Mo woke her up early in the morning, which made Su Mian very uncomfortable. Going downstairs, 20 minutes later, Su Yuan sent a WeChat message. Mian and I are outside, over to Sister Mo's car. Good. Soon, Su Yuan and Su Mo came out together. Chen Shen left the car door open and got out of the car quietly, taking out his guitar as well. Take the box from Su Yuan, Chen Shen said, is there anything you need on the road? Sister Mo's car can't fit it, I'll go put it at the program team. Su Yuan raised a bag she was carrying, no, I brought it for the road. Okay. Su Emo looked at Su Yuen, a little confused as to why she was so excited, and praised her as soon as she came downstairs. Chen Shen was also like a person who had nothing to do. This is a group activity. Chen Shen flirted with several people, isn't he afraid of being exposed? Su Emo guessed that Chen Shen's purpose of coming here was not to fall in love, but she didn't know the specific situation. By chance, Su Mian has reached a more dangerous state with Chen Shen. Su Yuan is now in the stage of not concealing anything about Chen Shen, and Xiaoqing Ai seems to be very open, and she doesn't contact other male guests except Chen Shen. Even if these colorful things are very tempting, even if they are to perform a certain personality, or to stir up the heat and make a big turn to whitewash and harvest traffic, Su Emo still thinks Chen Shen is wasting his talent. Business talent. After really having a beneficial relationship with Chen Shen, Su Emo tried to think from his perspective. Performing a character? The gain is not worth the loss, and there is a high probability that Xiaoqing Ai will use it. How can it be whitewashed? After all the colorful things, firmly choose a certain person? It doesn't seem to be smart. From the current point of view, Chen Shen is subjectively keeping a distance from Su Mian, and with Xiaoqing Ai, it's probably called pulling, and with Su Yuan, it seems that he doesn't have too much defense. By the way, there is also a self who is trying to get closer. This gimmick is really incredible. Su Emo sighed slightly, not knowing whether she was helping him or hurting him. Sister Emo, how about I help you drive? The staff said it seems to be more than 2 hours drive. Su Yuan's voice sounded. It's okay, I can still handle this intensity. Behind him, there was a voice of talking and laughing. Su Emo and Su Yuan both looked over, but their eyes did not stay on the boys, but looked at Xiaoqing Ai. Arriving at the parking lot, Zhong Wenbei frowned. Among all the guests, 3 had their own cars. There was no need to think about Sister Emo, only Brother Shen had this treatment. Who should I choose for the second car? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 117. Zhong Wenbei looked at Fang Ye and thought, Brother Ye, as long as you speak, I will lead the charge for you. Fang Ye glanced at Xiaoqing Ai, and then looked away. No matter what Xiaoqing Ai's purpose was, she was involved with Chen Shen at this moment and had to avoid suspicion. Zhong Wenbei was surprised. Is he so Buddhist? Then he looked at Zhou Gaikan and thought, Brother Ken, if you want, you can. I just like to help others now. Zhou Gaikan also glanced at Xiaoqing Ai, and then looked away with a guilty conscience. It is true that there is always light after darkness, but Xiaoqing Ai was scolded because of her own fault. How can she have the face to fight for such a small thing? Zhong Wenbei scratched his head and was confused. Is he so Buddhist today? Xiaoqing Ai was not very interested. After looking at Su Emo, he pointed at the Audi in front of him and asked, Is this our car? Zhou Gaikan replied, Mine. Is it stable when you drive? As long as you sit, it will definitely be stable. Xiaoqing Ai frowned and looked at the white Volkswagen on the left. What about that one? Fang Ye looked over and smiled, It's all right. Xiaoqing Ai looked at Zhong Wenbei again, wanting to ask him why he didn't have a car. When seeing Fang Ye, Xiaoqing Ai would think of Su Yuan. It would be enough to have Chen Shen to worry about. Xiaoqing Ai was not a person who dragged his feet. If he decided not to rely on others, he would not give others a signal. Then let's take the master's car. Xiaoqing Ai chose Audi. Compared to Fang Ye, Zhou Gaikan, who caused himself to be scolded, had no psychological burden in doing anything. Zhou Gaikan was stunned for a moment, then hurried forward to open the trunk. In the equipment car behind, Zhao Chunsheng breathed a sigh of relief. He was not only afraid that Chen Shen would mess up, but also that Xia King Ai would mess up. The program team's car had already gone to Huanyuanyuan to pick up people. It was not 8 o'clock yet, and everyone had already taken their positions. The director sent the detailed address to the group. On the main road, vehicles were interlaced, and the sun covered everything in front of them. Chen Shen sat in the co-pilot. He didn't say anything, pretending to be dead. He was already a warrior after getting on this car. However, there are always people who make you speak up. The intercom set up in front of the co-pilot made a crackling sound, and Zhong Wenbei's voice came, Dong Yao, I am Dong Guai, please reply if you hear me. Chen Shen didn't move, and the others didn't speak either. They didn't have the leisure to talk nonsense so early in the morning. Sizzle, sizzle. Hey, is this thing broken? Xia King Ai's voice followed, maybe they are so happy chatting that they don't have the energy to pay attention to us. Zhou Gaikan, that's right, Xiaobai, put it down, your brother Shen doesn't have the energy to play with you. Chen Shen reached out and took the walkie-talkie. I say, when you talk about others behind their backs, can you turn off the walkie-talkie? There was a cough and awkward laughter on the other side. Zhong Wenbei, I can hear it, I thought it was broken, brother Shen, ask sister Mo to drive slower, we are not in a hurry. Chen Shen put down the walkie-talkie and noticed from the rearview mirror that 2 eyes were on him. Chen Shen made up his mind, they are just jealous. Su Mian nodded, they are so noisy. Su Yuan nodded, yes, they are jealous, especially Xia King Ai. Su Yuan reached out and said, give me the walkie-talkie. Chen Shen handed the walkie-talkie to Su Yuan. Su Yuan cleared his throat and turned on the intercom, Dong Yao, I want to ask you a question. In the Audi car behind, several people were still laughing. Although it was awkward, the effect was that there were more people. Fang Ye snatched the intercom. Xiaobai looked quite smart, but sometimes he was really unreliable. After hearing the voice from the intercom, Fang Ye handed the intercom to Zhong Wenbei. Zhong Wenbei, Dongguai, you tell me. Su Yuan, the piglet, the lamb, and the calf went to the convenience store together. The piglet and the calf were beaten. Why didn't the lamb get beaten? Zhong Wenbei, brain teaser. Su Yuan, cold joke. In the car, not to mention Fang Ye and Zhong Wenbei sitting in the back, Zhou Gaikan and Xia Qing in the front unconsciously followed the thinking, why? Zhong Wenbei, let us think about it. Su Yuan, don't think about it, because the convenience store is open 24 hours a day. Zhong Wenbei, In front, Zhou Gaikan laughed, not because the joke was funny, but because a girl in the car in front started chatting with him. It seems that Chen Shen is not very good. What's wrong? One-on-one is okay, but when they really get together, he pretends to be a grandson? This is what Zhou Gaikan laughed at. Zhou Gaikan laughed, Fang Ye and Zhong Wenbei looked at each other and laughed too. You can't refuse the girl's face. She told you a joke. Hearing the laughter coming from the intercom, Su Yuan was very satisfied, and then asked, is this joke funny? Zhou Gaikan, funny, very funny, I saved it. Zhong Wenbei, it's really cold. Su Yuan, he, Chen Shen told us, it's all your fault, you interrupted his train of thought, now he won't tell us jokes. Sizzle sizzle. Su Yuan, Dongguai, are you still there? Sizzle sizzle. Now it was Chen Shen's turn to laugh, Su Mo couldn't hold it back, and praised, Yuan, well done. Su Mian looked at Su Yuan several times, as if expressing his agreement. Only Chen Shen was a little confused, you guys are united against the same enemy. Sizzle sizzle. Brother Shen, King Ai also thought of a cold joke, she wants to tell you. Su Yuan brought the intercom to his lips, tell her to come. After a while, Xia King Ai's voice sounded. One day, the circle, square, and triangle agreed to go out and play, but the next day the circle and square arrived, but the triangle didn't. Why? Su Yuan frowned, very targeted. This cold joke is the same format as his own. Why? Xia King because, congruent triangles. One joke is fine, but two similar jokes are superimposed, it's a bit funny. Chen Shen instinctively laughed. Ha! But he regretted it as soon as he spoke, because Su Yuan and Su Mian both looked at him, and Su Mo also glanced at her. Chen Shen straightened himself. Is it funny? I think it's better to be open 24 hours a day. Sizzle, sizzle. Okay, Chen Shen, good job. Chen Shen remained calm. It's really not good enough. Su Yuan was very satisfied, returned the walkie-talkie to Chen Shen, and repeated, it's really not good enough. Chen Shen curled his lips. Only a fool would care about things that he couldn't take care of. Today's situation, Xia King might be better off if he was a little angry. After such a commotion, the walkie-talkie was silent, but the car became lively. Su Yuan occasionally pointed outside, saying that she went to elementary school there, and her home was not far away. It was not until we turned off the ring road and started to go up the mountain that it became quiet again. Through the mountain road, the forests are dyed with colors, even in autumn, it is still heavy green. Thanks to Kailan29 for another 500 coin reward. Thanks to Daja Shang Chuanfeng for 500 coin reward. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Mi Se. Chapter 118. The destination is not at the top of the mountain, but on the mountainside, a private resort. Walking in from the parking lot, there is a small stream with a large green grassland on both sides. The buildings are concentrated in two places, the innermost and the outermost. However, these have nothing to do with the program group. There are two wooden plank roads passing through the green grassland, and there are also many camping platforms with tents already set up on them. Su Mo drove for 2 hours and started moving as soon as she got off the car, doing some stretching movements. Would you like to choose? Su Yuan looked at the big tent on the grassy side with some curiosity. After everyone got out of the car, the director came over. Zhao Chunsheng smiled with a soft tone, everyone, you can relax. Recording today has not been easy, it has been hard work. The attitude is very good, but the first half is full of exaggeration. The more Zhong Wenbei listened, the more he frowned. Why is it so difficult? Where's the hard work? Is this the strength of this circle? So, there are no rules for team building this time. Just treat it as a thank you from the program team. All rest, entertainment, and meals will be prepared by the program team for everyone. Zhou Gaikan whistled, Director Zhao, you are particularly handsome today. Fang Ye, then I really treat it as a vacation. I don't even know this place. Zhao Chunsheng, ha ha ha. Zhao Chunsheng had to start to lower his profile and not make these people happy. Finally, he found out that there were actors, who could bear to lift the table. At the end, Zhao Chunsheng glanced at Xia King and Chen Shen, and added, the weather is good, there is an artificial lake in the valley, and there are ancient trees with a diameter of more than 50 centimeters on the mountain. In short, this place is very suitable for relaxing and resting. He just needed to say 3 words, don't cause trouble. Chen Shen glanced sideways at Xia King who looked towards the grass and avoided Chen Shen's eyes expressionlessly. Choose a house. The tent is very big, like a hotel standard room, with 2 beds, still paired in pairs. Su Yuan then left Chen Shen and dragged her suitcase to find Xia King The wooden road looks like a tree trunk, with tents distributed on both sides. Chen Shen and Fang probably live at the top of the tree, the innermost one. The stream flowing down from the mountain is crystal clear. It should have been artificially intervened, Otherwise there would be no cobblestones. Streams in the mountains have always had two sides. In the dry season, they look like shy girls, and in the rainy season, they look like generals killing enemies. This kind of stream is basically jagged with strange rocks, and it won't be like this. Docile. Sumian and Su Emo were sitting on the rocks by the stream. Su Emo felt a little emotional. Mountain cities are different. Plunging into the mountains is like a deep forest oxygen bar. You've looked over there several times, why don't you go and play with him, Su Emo said with a smile. Sumian looked away. I didn't look. Mian. Sumian looked over. Let's stop guessing riddles. Tell me, do you like him? Sumian put her legs on the stone, stretched out her arms to hug her legs, pursed her lips and asked, I haven't figured it out yet. Su Emo felt that Mian was fine with everything except her feelings. Does Chen Shen like Sumian? Or does Chen Shen like anyone here? In Sumo's eyes, there is always a question mark. Judging from the details, he was really nice to Mian, but he also emphasized that he and Mian were good friends. The more he thought about this, the more Su Emo felt that Chen Shen would need a lot of help if he followed her. Very few people could hold their own against these girls. Su Emo didn't want Sumian to be internalized or come up with any bad ideas, so she said, Mian, listen to me. From now on, don't think about who you like or not. This question is too complicated. You can think about others whether I like you or not, then whether I like you or not becomes whether I accept you or not. This question is simpler than whether I like you or not. After changing the explanation, Sumian actually understood. It wasn't that she couldn't understand it, nor was it complicated. Chen Shen had said that he didn't come here to fall in love, and he said it twice. Sumian felt that Chen Shen would not lie to her. It was like walking along a road, but suddenly there was no way, and then she got stuck. Here, they can only be good friends, and Sumian thinks it's good, as they don't have to think deeply about complicated issues. Sister Emo. Ah. Do you like him? Sumian's eyes were very clear, like those of a child. Su Emo was still thinking about how to channel Sumian, but unexpectedly he was defeated by an army. Would a normal girl ask this question? Ask another girl if she likes the person you like. Su Emo frowned and said, I'm talking about you, not myself. Sumian's personality was very different. A stranger would not dare to speak, but a truly familiar person would have no worries at all. It was precisely because of this that Sumian didn't dare to ask the next question, because Su Emo was not Chen Shen. Chen Shen wouldn't care if he said the wrong thing, and others might not care. Su Emo seemed to know what Sumian was going to say, so she explained to herself, it's a win-win situation for me to help him. He is very talented in business, especially when it comes to dealing with people. Sumian said, oh. Of course, there are reasons for admiration. He knows the rules and reciprocity, and the favors he gives you will be more useful than what you give away. They are also the things you need most, which is also rare. Sumian said, oh again. Okay, I'll tell you everything. I also want him to follow me to invest. I think his theoretical general direction is suitable for my working methods. Investment is actually investing in people. I agree with his understanding of this. Sumian still said, oh. Su Emo shook her head. Why did the painting style become strange? This might be Sumian's passive skill. When she is not socially anxious, the people around her will start to be socially anxious, and then mess up her own rhythm. Su Emo was angry and reached out to rub Sumian's hair. Sister Emo, do you know why I asked you what love is like? Why? Because I don't think I will meet my own love, so I have never thought about this issue. Su Emo was stunned, then reached out to Sumian's head and helped her straighten the messy hair. After falling into trouble with Chen Shen's family background, Su Mo went to inquire about several other people. In addition to Jo Gaiken's background, there are also some special circumstances about Sumian. Sumian's father grew up in Y Enterprise. Changing a place is a big improvement. When he was at his best, he had already gone to Yanjing. However, it was revealed that he had an illegitimate child, and after paying a great price, he had to return to Yuzhou. Even I am thinking about what love is. It is normal for you to like him, Sumian said softly. Su Mo curled her lips. He is not as precious as you think. Sumian smiled and did not continue to talk to Su Mo on this issue. Because of Lao Su, Sumian passively knew a lot of information about Chen Shen. For example, Lao Su said that the hot searches on Weibo in the past 2 days were obviously bought by Chen Shen himself, because this is the survival rule of the entertainment industry. If you want to move up, you either rely on works or find stepping stones. Works require talent. If Chen Shen has talent, wouldn't he have debuted earlier? Can he withdraw from Black Gold and go on a love variety show? Why go on a love variety show? Isn't that just looking for a stepping stone? Lao Su may think that what he said makes sense, but Sumian just thinks he is noisy. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Mi Se. Chapter 119. We had lunch in a yard, with mountain specialties. Stream fish, pheasant, fried pork with rice noodles made of kudzu root powder, and some wild vegetables. We were very full, and everyone discussed the fun places they found in the morning. Chen Shen stood at the gate of the yard looking at the fish pond. The water in the fish pond was running water, and the stream water was clear. Why are they so black? Su Yuan asked. Chen Shen replied, cold water fish, the color is darker than the general breeding environment, but the meat is crisper. Su Yuan wore a white t-shirt with a light blue plaid shirt and jacket, which made her look bright and pretty. Chen Shen was sleeping in the morning, and she didn't go out either. The mountain road was winding and a little dizzy. Chen Shen just wanted to take a nap, but he didn't expect to sleep for more than an hour. Shen Shen, Xiaobai said there are crabs in the stream, do you want to go play? Fang also called Chen Shen. Chen Shen turned back, you guys go, I'll take a walk. Chen Shen looked in other directions again. Su Mo took Sumian and should have gone back to the tent. Xiaoqing I didn't see it. Where are we going to go? Can you stop yawning when you say this? Su Yuan stuck out his tongue, I tried it this morning. Maybe workers have developed a biological clock and just can't fall asleep. Let's go, take a nap, and I'll take you to climb the mountain tomorrow morning. Do you mean what you say? Chen Shen nodded, but I'm afraid you won't climb with me. Su Yuan glanced at the mountain behind him. It was so high, don't worry, maybe you can't climb higher than me. Chen Shen smiled and took Su Yuan to the tent. After sending Su Yuan back to the tent, Chen Shen hesitated on the wooden path. He wanted to find Su Mo, but he was afraid that Su Mo would also take a nap. Unexpectedly, he saw Su Mo coming out of the tent with a kettle, and Chen Shen walked forward quickly. Su Mo heard the sound and turned around. The kettle in her hand was naturally taken by Chen Shen. You want hot water, right? I'll go with you. Su Mo smiled and said, if you know a little more, you should say, you want hot water, right? I'll help you get it. I'm going alone? Then I won't go. Su Mo rolled her eyes, let's go together. Hot water is only available at the dining area. Su Mo asked when they were eating, and the two began to walk back again. After walking for a while, seeing that Chen Shen beside her had not spoken, Su Mo took the initiative to ask, really not speaking? Chen Shen hesitated, but still spoke, Sister Mo, given our relationship, if I offend you a little, it should be okay, right? Su Mo stopped and her hand unconsciously rested on her bulging chest. Don't think about it. Am I this kind of person in your eyes? Su Mo followed up, it's really hard to say. She thought Chen Shen wanted her to help her with something, but it turned out that this guy seemed a little bold. Chen Shen was a little sad. Was he very lustful? Until now, they have always taken advantage of me. When have I ever taken the initiative? Why is there hot water only in the dining area? Because it is spring water. You need to boil it yourself in an iron kettle. Su Mo wants to drink coffee and wants to try how it feels to make coffee with spring water here. Chen Shen put the kettle aside first, then took the iron kettle to get spring water, and then put it on the stove to boil. Are you angry? Su Mo kept looking at Chen Shen. No. You have to make your words clear. You are joking, so you don't allow me to joke. I'm not joking. Su Mo took a step back. Chen Shen laughed, I'm really not joking, but I don't mean that. I still respect you very much. Su Mo came over again and stood beside Chen Shen. She was also joking when she took the step back just now to make Chen Shen happy. I'm just afraid that my expression will make you misunderstand and think that I am offending you. What expression? You will know in the evening. Su Mo frowned, then why are you saying it now? Keeping people on suspense. This is called vaccination. Mysterious. There is a small flat area between the camping site and the mountain. In the words of the people here, it is also called a small square. The large equipment vehicle is parked here. At 10:30, a black commercial vehicle drove here, and Zhao Chunsheng took 2 people in. Even lunch was eaten in the equipment vehicle. Chen Tianhui, the head of the artist agency department of Huanyu Media, is 46 years old and has more than 20 years of experience. He is one of the serious veterans of Huanyu Media and has been working in Huanyu since he entered the circle. In fact, he is Shen Halen's predecessor. The equipment vehicle is a bit noisy, not the kind of loud noise, but the kind of electric current sound of various equipment running. But Chen Tianhui is very comfortable, because from the viewing pictures, what Zhou Gaikan said is true. The guy named Chen Shen was very active. During the meal, 2 girls picked up food for him. After the meal, he sent one girl back to the tent, and then went to fetch water with another girl who looked very good. They talked and laughed all the way. In contrast, what about Xiaoqing Ai? She never spent time alone with any male guest. Combined with the information Zhou Gaikan told him, Chen Tianhui felt that it was almost certain that Xiaoqing Ai was going to have a big accident. If Xiaoqing Ai had a big accident, Yuan would have a big accident. Chen Tianhui was very happy to see this. He was a direct participant in the conflict between him and Yuan. When Chu Fei, the boss of Yuan Media, wanted to enter the entertainment industry, he visited Huanyu to learn from her. But there was no appointment. The boss was busy and had no time to spare. So he arranged a broker to meet Chu Fei. Chu Fei talked to the broker about his plans and ambitions. The broker just talked and laughed to deal with him at first, but later Chu Fei became more and more excited, so the broker poured cold water on him. You are a local Chinese idol. Can you resist Japanese and Korean idols? Isn't that a dream? Japan and South Korea have become industrial systems. 1 generation, 2 generations, and 3 generations are overwhelmed. Can you beat others with just one mouth? Of course, some of Chu Fei's words were intentional. He felt that Huanyu looked down on people. In the entertainment industry, he was a newcomer, but he was also a figure in the real estate circle of Yuzhou. You sent an unknown person to deal with me? The conversation was not harmonious, and they parted unhappily. The broker who received Chu Fei that year is Chen Tianhui today. Director Zhao, I think your show is well shot. As long as President Chen lets one of the 3 come, Huanyu will definitely arrange a queen to come, Chen Tianhui said with a smile. Zhao Chunsheng quickly replied, Mr. Chen has a keen eye for talent. When I came to Yuzhou, I naturally had to ask your two families for help. Ha ha ha, you are too kind, Director Zhao. You have to see what Mr. Shen means. Chen Tianhui's voice was very generous. Zhao Chunsheng looked at Shen Halen and smiled bitterly. Xiaoqing Ai did not make trouble and kept a low profile, but Chen Shen was like nothing happened and ignored his reminders at all. Shen Halen mostly watched and did not speak. Xiaoqing Ai did not do anything, but this is not a traditional love variety show. Huanyu did not know this information. Xiaoqing Ai's most beautiful way to win is to defeat her opponent, that is, Chen Shen, and that is a thorough win. Of course, Shen Halen was not very happy either. Chen Shen can still be so active, which means that Xiaoqing Ai has not yet defeated Chen Shen. Up to now, except for Xiaoqing Ai, Chen Shen has been very close to the other three female guests. Some of his actions have exceeded the relationship of ordinary friends, which is a dangerous signal. At this moment, Chen Tianhui suddenly raised his neck and said in surprise, "This person is really good." He was just chatting and laughing with others and getting hot water, and now he is chatting with King Ai. Director Zhao, what's his name? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Se. Chapter 120. Chen Shen was sitting on the wooden plank road next to the stream watching Fangya and the others looking for crabs. When he turned around, he saw Xiaoqing Ai coming back from where they were eating. He waved to Xiaoqing, but the other party ignored him and stood up and went over by himself. Xiaoqing Ai's dress today is relatively low-key and neutral, and she also wears a white sun hat. Seeing Chen Shen walking over from the opposite side, Xiaoqing put his hands in his pockets with an expressionless look on his face. Still angry. Xiaoqing moved to the left without answering, and Chen Shen followed suit. As soon as Xiaoqing turned to the right, Chen Shen followed suit. He. Xiaoqing immediately jumped off the plank road and stepped on the grass. Chen Shen also jumped down. Is there something wrong? Xiaoqing Ai whispered. Chen Shen knew that there were guests today, and Xiaoqing Ai also knew. Seeing Xiaoqing Ai's energetic eyes, Chen Shen took 2 steps back, then sat on the plank road. You really don't need it. Xiaoqing looked over and frowned. What do I need? Do I need you to cooperate with me? To make me less stressed? Chen Shen glanced at the other side of the square, and then fell silent. Xiaoqing Ai seemed really angry. You want to say that you provoked me in the car on purpose? Because I won't play with you when I'm angry. What they see is still the Xiaoqing Ai who doesn't mess up. Now you come to me to let them see Chen is Shen taking the initiative towards Xiaoqing Ai. Xiaoqing walked over while talking and looked directly into Chen Shen's eyes. You are so naive, why are you so stupid? Do I care about this now? You said, taking 1 step back is courage, and taking 2 steps back is even more courageous. Wisdom, please show some sincerity to let me take a step back. As he spoke, Xiaoqing Ai's eyes turned a little red. When they were in the car, Xiaoqing Ai became angry. Chen Shen coaxed the girls and lost face in front of so many people. In the tent, he still had to live with Su Yuan. The key was that Chen Shen asked himself to tolerate Su Yuan. Why don't you tolerate me? During the meal, you were still talking and laughing there, looking so arrogant. Have you figured out how to explain it to them? Or is your surname Chen just a big scumbag obsessed with the present? Chen Shen did not avoid Xiaoqing Ai's gaze, listened quietly, and then sighed softly. One thing he did overlook was that this was not a chess game. Pressure is subjective and will not disappear passively because of someone next to you. Xiaoqing Ai and Chen Shen were fooling around to relieve stress, but Chen Shen was always good at making decisions and doing things he thought were good for himself, which would only make Xiaoqing Ai even more stressed. Her eyes were red, but Xiaoqing Ai raised her head slightly to prevent tears from falling. At this moment, Chen Shen thought of 3 or 4 ways to appease Xiaoqing Ai, but they all lack sincerity. Chen Shen stood up and sighed. Maybe this is a required course for scumbags. After the theory, they will always face unexpected situations. Chen Shen stretched out his hand and slowly hugged Xiaoqing Ai under the stunned look in her eyes. On the other side of the stream, Zhong Wenbei unconsciously let go of a large stone he was holding, causing a large splash of water. Fang Ye instinctively wanted to curse, "Okay, Xiaobai, my pants are wet." Zhong Wenbei seemed to have witnessed a particularly shocking scene, and ignored Fang Ye and Zhou Gaikan, who was also cursing. By the time Fang Ye and Zhou Gaikan followed Zhong Wenbei's gaze, Xiaoqing Ai had already pushed Chen Shen away. "Tch, what's so interesting about this? Isn't Chen Shen normal? Just now I saw him helping Sister Mo fetch hot water," Zhou Gaikan complained. Fang also shook his head and made a fuss. Zhong Wenbei murmured, "No, this time is different." "Why is it different?" "Forget it, I tell you, you don't understand, Brother Shen, you are indeed my idol, you are so brave." "There's something wrong. In the equipment truck. The viewing screen is silent because there are too many shots. If the sound is concentrated together, it will be impossible to hear it. Therefore, there is a fixed radio group to process the sound separately." Although there was no sound, Chen Tianhui still watched with interest and moved forward several times. Xiaoqing Ai was indeed difficult to deal with and was rude to others. This man named Chen Shen was also thick-skinned and refused to let Xiaoqing Ai leave. Seeing Chen Shen retreating, Xiaoqing Ai stepped forward and kept saying something, his eyes turning from serious to slowly filled with tears. Chen Tianhui seemed to have eaten an ice cube in the hot summer. Xiaoqing Ai's car was overturned, and Yuwen's little princess was abducted by a young boy who had never debuted, ha ha ha. Zhao Chunzhen's forehead had sweat stains at some point, and he scolded Chen Shen countless times in his heart. He couldn't sit still anymore. How about we go to the side for a walk?" At this moment, Chen Tianhui slapped his thigh, me. Zhao Chunzhen turned around and saw Chen Shen and Xiaoqing hugging each other. It was still a very tense hug. Chen Shen seemed to wrap up Xiaoqing. Shen Halen's face looked uncertain. "Mr. Shen, I..." Shen Halen waved his hand, "Director Zhao, can you arrange a time? I want to meet him alone." Zhao Chunzhen looked at the time, then smiled bitterly and said, "How about at night? Otherwise, I'm afraid the overall atmosphere will change." Shen Halen hummed and stood up, "Is there a place to rest?" Zhao Chunzhen breathed a sigh of relief, "Yes, Mr. Chen, let's move." Chen Tianhui glanced at the screen several times before standing up. This scene left a deep impression on him. That young man was so bold that he dared to do this under the camera. "Do you want to die?" Xiaoqing glared at Chen Shen, as if she wanted to fix him. Chen Shen wiped the wooden boards on the plank road with his sleeve. "Sit down for a while." Xiaoqing Ai stopped being stubborn this time and sat down. The plank road is half a meter high from the grassland. The stream here should be swollen during the rainy season, so it was erected this way. Maybe because he felt that he was a little fierce just now, Xiaoqing Ai said again, "I was in a bad mood to begin with, and it was you who came to provoke me. Feel sorry. You are really stupid if you say you are stupid. What should you do now?" Xiaoqing Ai was a little annoyed. "When you are bored, you don't want to care about anything, and you are not happy anymore, why are you still thinking so much? What about after you calm down? This is also a concern, that is also a concern, why do I always keep doing random things?" Xiaoqing tried to analyze it, then reached over and turned off the radio processor fixed on Chen Shen's back. After closing her own, Xiaoqing Ai frowned and said, "If Sister Lan sees this, There are only two results, either I quit or you join Yuan. If she asks you to join Yuan, you must not agree. Chen Shen smiled and said, why? You are stupid. If you join Yuan, you will become one of her own. From her standpoint, she can either protect you or me. Who do you think she will choose? It is much easier to deal with her own people than to deal with outsiders. Chen Shen glanced at the cameras in the distance. They must have been instructed by someone and were leaving here. They were very sensible. I don't know who is stupid. If you get a flat A, you start to zoom in. Xiaoqing looked over. What do you mean? How dare you come to Lianzong? Xiaoqing frowned and said angrily, you look down on people, right? Do you believe that I deceived you so much that you lost your pants? Recommend a friend's book. Introduction. Large model AI is artificial intelligence retardation. Carbon cores are just the appetizer, quantum chips are the staple food. Cax's neck starts with lithium metal batteries. All this competition began when the genius scholar Li Tang merged the memory of time and space from the nightmare that troubled him. I'm just being paid to be on a dating show, why do you choose me? Author, Qingzhou Mi Se. Chapter 121. The wind from the mountain whirred in, bringing with it the scent of green grass, which Chen Shen felt was not as good as the smell on Xiaoqing Ai. It had come to this point, and all the assumptions were no longer assumptions. The hints of the love variety show, the self-psychological construction, and Chen Shen's little routine and sincerity, Xiaoqing Ai's good impression had turned into a heartbeat without knowing when. If Chen Shen still couldn't feel it, then don't mess around. Chen Shen was not a timid person, he was just afraid that Xiaoqing Ai would be in trouble, but Xiaoqing Ai's condition was getting worse, so he just did it openly. Xiaoqing Ai seemed to realize something, and her cheeks began to turn red slowly. Aren't you curious about how I ended up? Chen Shen asked. Xiaoqing Ai looked over, really tell me. It's not a secret, Sister Mo helped me a lot, I'll prepare a song for her later. Xiaoqing Ai was stunned at first, then leaned over, original. Almost. Xiaoqing Ai said unhappily, she helped you deal with me, and then you gave her a song in return, right? Chen Shen looked over, a little surprised. Xiaoqing Ai snorted, I told you not to underestimate people. Sister Mo is not Yuan, so Yuan foolishly thought that you liked her. Girls' intuition is very accurate. Among them, only Sister Mo puts the most pressure on me. If she really wants to help you, she can indeed change the direction of the program group's secondary creation. More than that, but it has nothing to do with the program. Xiaoqing Ai lowered her voice, why don't you listen to it now? It's hard to say whether it's original. I'm afraid you'll make a fool of yourself. Chen Shen was stunned. He thought Xiaoqing Ai would be jealous, but he didn't think Xiaoqing Ai would doubt his own strength. Of course, he didn't have much strength, but he was one of the few helpers he could use. It was a bit of bullying. Aha, I don't mean anything else. Noticing that Chen Shen's expression was wrong, Xiaoqing Ai scratched his head and laughed awkwardly. Chen Shen turned his head away. Forget it. No explanation. If she feels uncomfortable, let her feel uncomfortable. Chen Shen and Xiaoqing Ai had a tacit understanding. It seemed that they were both for each other's good and stopped at the same time. The time and place are not suitable, and it is not suitable to go down. The sun sets, and the sunlight starts to climb up from the mountainside. Slowly, only the top of the mountain is still bathed in the sun. Over at the small square, the venue has been set up. Tables and stools, various prepared skewers, and charcoal fires made by the staff. Tonight, barbecue party. On the far left, a speaker is set up, and soothing music is already playing. Under the blue sky and white clouds, beside the green mountains and green waters, people who are getting better and better, it feels great. Fang Ye is a warm-hearted person, and he took the initiative to sit next to the barbecue stall and start grilling skewers. I don't know who played a song of Xia King Ai, which made Xia King Ai jump and rush to the center console. Chen Shen took a cattail leaf fan to help Fang Ye fan the fire. The charcoal was not burned through. Su Yuan held a plate with skewers in it, waiting to be grilled. There are crabs on the table, all caught by us in the afternoon. Try it, it's delicious. Fang Ye pointed to the table and said. Su Yuan asked Chen Shen, do you want to eat? Chen Shen nodded. Su Yuan ran over, then ran back, and gently pinched a small fried golden crab between his index finger and thumb, and fed it directly to Chen Shen's mouth. Chen Shen did not hesitate at all, opened his mouth to take it, and took a bite. It was crispy and full of fragrance. It tastes good, right? Fang also looked over. Chen Shen gave a thumbs up. Who fried it? Xiaobai, I don't know where he found the rapeseed oil, it smells so good. Zhong Wenbei sat on the other side of the table and ate chicken feet. There were some cold dishes on the table, but his eyes were always looking at Chen Shen, his eyes were full of admiration. In the afternoon, he hugged King Ai, and now Yuan fed him food by himself. So strong, I really want to learn. When the first batch of skewers were served, the lights were on and dusk fell quietly. We listened to music for a long time and talked about the sky. It seems that this kind of game would not be fun without some programs. Zhou Gaikan clapped his hands and said, how about we play some games? What games? Zhou Gaikan glanced at Chen Shen, who was still at the barbecue stall, and smiled. It's not complicated, truth or dare, how about it? Zhong Wenbei likes the excitement and was the first to raise his hand. Come on. But the others hesitated. And they all looked at Chen Shen unconsciously. Su Emo was a bit of a spectator, as if she wanted to see how Chen Shen would respond. Su Mian sat next to Su Emo, crunching on a little crab. She looked at Chen Shen more directly, as if asking Chen Shen if we wanted to play. This game is so popular, it's boring, let's change it, Su Yuan said directly. Zhou Gaikan had bad intentions at first glance. She knew everything Su Yuan wanted to know, including Chen Shen's definition of the other female guests. Of course, she was also looking forward to how Chen Shen would define herself, but she would not leave this opportunity to Zhou Gaikan. Xia King I replied, what era is it still playing this? Zhou Gaikan glared, then looked at Chen Shen. He hoped Chen Shen would fight like a man. What was the result? Chen Shen didn't even look at him, standing in front of the barbecue stall eating his hot dog. Fang Ye whispered to Chen Shen, see, you are full of bad intentions. I don't know how they discussed it. They played a game of catching ducks, quacking as many ducks as they caught, and whoever made a mistake had to perform a show. Su Yuan ran over and wanted to replace Chen Shen, asking Chen Shen to play, but Chen Shen didn't let him. Chen Shen and Fang Ye grilled skewers together, watching the place gradually become lively. It's great, I'm a little reluctant to leave Fang Ye's side. There's a long way to go, we can get together privately, Chen Shen smiled. I'll forget about it tonight. I'll create a group after the show ends. I really don't like him very much. Chen Shen smiled, he didn't particularly dislike anyone. Chen Shen's timidity was not because he was afraid. What was there for a person who had died once to be afraid of? He was afraid of having a bad influence on the girls. It was precisely because he had died once that Chen Shen knew that human beings were complex creatures. They could be good in the previous second and bad in the next second, and vice versa. There was a booing sound from the other side of the table. I don't know who lost again. Chen Shen looked over and saw Su Emo standing up helplessly. She had been reminding Su Mian, reminding her whether to GA or not, but she forgot and lost. Sister Emo. Sister Emo. Sister Emo. Great, Sister Emo, sing a song. You have such a nice voice, so you must sing well too. Sue Mo has no talent in literature and art, and she is a little confused. How about I give you a question to do? No. I've already sung, it's okay, Sister Mo, sing boldly. How about you sing King I's song and let her teach you? No, 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 I'm afraid of social failure, Sister Mo, tell a joke. Joe Geiken said, or you can choose truth or not. Sue Mo is not afraid of this. She looked at Joe Geiken and was about to speak when Chen Shen's voice sounded, Sister Mo, I can help off the court. Sue Mo looked over and smiled, then you come. I was originally going to sing a song for Sue Mo, so Chen Shen wiped his hands on the towel and went over. It's not that I have to stick to this song. I wrote 700 or 800 words, but I don't feel like it. The update time is up and I can only post it first. I promise to finish this plot tomorrow.